ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard here to the Sports Talk Nation, the breaking news today, this afternoon, as we are going to talk about Brian Daboll getting fired by the New York Giants. This coming after Jaxson Dart suffered a concussion last Sunday afternoon against the Chicago Bears, came out of the game, and of course the response by Daboll in the immediate aftermath after the game was completely and totally unacceptable. So let's just go right into this, folks. Of course, this all happening within the last half hour, or by the time you see this, earlier this afternoon on a Monday, the Giants firing Brian Daboll as head coach. They move on, and they will appoint Mike Kafka, the offensive coordinator, as interim head coach. Obviously, Kafka is a name that has been bantied about a lot in NFL circles over the last couple of years, especially in the head coach hiring cycle. A lot of people have been interviewing him for different positions, different head coaching opportunities. Hasn't gotten a head coaching job, but he'll get the interim job here and a chance to basically try out essentially for the Giants job full time. The Giants, since 2016, have had now 6 different head coaches. Ever since, of course, the retirement or forced retirement of Tom Coughlin, the Giants have had a turnstile at head coach. It has not worked no matter who they put in there, whether it be Brian Daboll, obviously, or Joe Judge, or Pat Shurmur. We could go on, Pat Shurmur, Ben McAdoo, Steve Spagnuolo for a cup of coffee, obviously, after McAdoo got fired. Doesn't matter who it is. It just essentially hasn't worked for the Giants in a very, very long time. And with Daboll, it was curtains immediately after that game against the Chicago Bears. Forget the fact that the Giants blew their 4th game this year in which they had a lead in the 4th quarter. The fact that the head coach couldn't protect his biggest asset, the most important piece to the team, and that's the quarterback, is an absolutely damning statement.
Brian, I mean, is this sustainable, the way that he's playing? I know you don't want to dampen his competitiveness and you love his fire and all that stuff, but I mean, he's not 250 pounds, and this hits that he's taken, they've clearly taken a toll to the point where now he's got a concussion and is going to miss time.
Yeah. Look, I'm not sure exactly the play that had happened, Connor. So, no, I'm concerned for the kid.
What do you mean by that?
I don't know the exact play that it happened for him, relative to getting hurt or not getting hurt. But I don't know the play. I don't know the play. I don't know when it was. I mean, I just know that when he was going back out there, we were sitting around the huddle. I saw him. I got Ronnie over there to check him out.
Immediately after the play that he fumbled, because it looked like he hit his head and was.
Yeah, no. I mean, no, no, he wasn't. So if they would have called him down, but when he was going in there, somebody said something like, "What?" Like, don't put him in.
And when the Giants head coach goes out there and admits basically that he did not know what play Jaxson Dart got hurt on, and essentially ran him back out there to keep playing in this game with a concussion, should not be allowed. Not at all in the NFL. And that immediately should have been a fireable offense, and the Giants, of course, took care of business this afternoon. But the head coach, in my mind, is responsible for 3 things: winning, setting the standard and the culture, and protecting players from themselves. And really, throughout this year, with Jaxson Dart, the Giants and Brian Daboll have failed to protect this guy, whether it be against the Eagles, right, when Daboll went into the tent and tried to see what was going on with Jaxson Dart. You know, coaches aren't supposed to do that. They're not supposed to go into the blue tent. And then a scene later, yelling at the trainers and yelling at the head trainer to get Jaxson Dart back into the ball game and improve him. And, of course, the NFL took notice of that. NFLPA took notice of that. Giants got fined $200,000 excuse me, for violating concussion protocol. Daboll himself paid over $100,000. So you have that strike against them. You have the fact that Dart, every single week, and he is an aggressive player. He likes to put the team on his back all the time, understand that. But when you have a player who continues to use his own body as a battering ram at the quarterback position, you can't let that happen. Jaxson Dart is a valuable piece. He is not, let's say, a Big Ben or even a Lamar Jackson. Even Lamar Jackson doesn't put his head down and bury into players in linebackers and safeties the way this guy does. And every week it seems like we see this guy woozy. Last week against San Francisco, we saw him on the sideline crouching down in a fetal position. And then here against the Bears, nobody really knows when this play essentially happened where he got hurt. I've seen highlights of him where he gets smacked around and his helmet's getting twisted off. There's another highlight of him on a 2nd and 6 around the Bear 35-yard line with the Giants up 17-7 late in third quarter, where he runs to the left, has the lead block, and then eventually that block gets closed down by the Bears. 3 men converge on Dart and then knock him to the ground, knock the ball loose, and Dart very woozy and tries to get up very, very slowly. Maybe that's where it happened. We don't know officially, okay? But the fact is that the Giants didn't know is even worse. And the fact that Daboll didn't know, admitted it, is even worse. And that's why the Giants had to make that move and had to make that change at head coach. I'll say this. Jaxson Dart, I would hate to see this happen to this guy because he's got a lot of talent. He's got a lot of swagger that you like, that you haven't seen from the Giants in some time, especially that position. You hate to see him be one of these players who's kind of like a shooting star, where he, gets off to a great start. You're saying, "Oh man, this guy's tremendous potential," and then because of injuries, disappears. And if the Giants do not protect this guy and take further steps to protect this guy, he will be a shooting star. He will be someone that just comes and goes. Whether the head coach is Mike Kafka, whether the head coach is somebody else next year, this guy's health is priority number one. Because if the Giants, who have potential, they really do, if they get back Malik Neighbors healthy next year, if they get Cam Skidabo back healthy next year, if they get this quarterback back healthy next year, they have a chance to be a good team next season. If they get the right head coach in here, I don't know what they're going to do with the general manager, Joe Schoen. I don't see anything on here as far as Schoen is concerned. I would think that for the time being, he is safe. It says here, Diana Rossini, no other staff update changes are expected at this time. GM Joe Schoen and defensive coordinator Shane Bowen will stay in their current roles for now, while Kafka replaces Daboll. So that's what we know right now. But whatever the Giant look will be in 2026, protecting the players is the most important thing right now. And you hate to see a player of that ilk, of that talent, get wasted so quickly in his career. That is a damn shame. So hopefully the Giants, and I think this is the right move, it's the right step in the right direction, will start taking steps to protect this guy. And he's got to protect himself. I mean, he's got to start learning how to slide and not take those kind of hits and put himself in position to take those kind of hits. He shouldn't be, leading with his head into linebackers and safety at the quarterback position. That cannot happen. So the Giants 2-8. Obviously, their season is essentially, from the playoff standpoint, over. They got 3 very tough games coming up with the Packers and the Lions and the Patriots. One would think that this team was going to staring down at 2-11 before their bye week in Week 14. After that, it does ease up in the month of December. Maybe they can win some games here. But it's now about building towards something, whether it be with Mike Kafka as the head coach or finding out who's going to be part of this thing moving forward in 2026 as the Giants essentially end the Brian Daboll era today after the Jaxson Dart injury against the Chicago Bears. Folks, like and subscribe. We will talk to you next time.